Student loans are the arguably the greatest wealth killer of our generation. Well, I was just reading an article on CNBC about student loans and what they have done to millennials. According to this article, over half of all millennials regret taking on student loans to go to college. So I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. We're going to talk about that right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. We cover economic topics every single day of the week, and we cover them from a Black perspective. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor, and I want to break down economics in a way that is unique, that will make you smarter at the end of the day. Student loan debt. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you have been hit by student loans. Give me a yes or no. How many of you have gone to college and been body slammed by student loans, or at least experienced them anyway? How many of you have experienced student loans? Give me a yes or no in the chat. I want to know how many of you are student loan veterans in the room. I was just reading an article about student loans, and basically, according to CNBC, more than half of all millennials regret the student loan debt that they took on. And so I'm curious to know, we have intelligent Black people in the room. A lot of you either have some college or a full college degree. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you regret the student loans you took on. Give me a yes if you regret. Simona, I see you. Simona Summer Davis and Max Jerome and Kalila Hill and LC Scott and Miriam Page and Goldie B says that's one thing that deterred me from actually going to school, to be honest. Okay. Black Beauty Barbie 3, Musa Lee. All right, so let's dig into this a little bit. Let's talk about student loans. Student loans is something I feel very passionate about. I remember when I was on the faculty at Syracuse University, and I would meet a lot of the Black students that were there. And right now, I think for Syracuse, a year at Syracuse is about $70,000 with room and board included. And I can tell you right now, Alicia and I, we're both college professors, and we're sending our 17-year-old to college along with their dad. Their dad is a very smart Black man who is also going to chip in on the bill. And one thing that we're just not doing is we're not going to go and spend a ton of money to go to college. We're just not going to do it. We have different points of view. We all agree that college is valuable. I think Alicia feels like college is absolutely necessary. Our son Quincy, his father is an engineer. College helped him to become an engineer. So we both agree that when you go to college, you want to go into a career that's going to make you some money. And me, I'm the guy who just says, yeah, college is cool, but I really want the boy to learn how to make some money. That's what it is, right? I think the number one skill for young Black people is not just going to school. The number one skill is figuring out where the money resides. That's what it is. College and education certainly can benefit you. You guys know I'm all about education. I'm all about being intelligent. That's why I say this is the platform for intelligent Black people. It doesn't mean you are intelligent. It means you value intelligence. And yesterday, you guys may or may not have seen this, but I think you should see it. I'm going to play this video again later. I had a sister on named Lewis. Her last name was Lewis. I want to say Karen Lewis, or what was her first name? Oh my gosh, I don't have her name in front of me, but Lewis, that's her last name. And she runs a company called Curl Mix. And Miss Lewis got together with her husband, and they're both college graduates, I believe. I know her husband went to Northwestern, and they were running their hair care business, and they were making about 35, 40 grand a year. Then they started making 100, and then they started getting some help, and now they make $6 million a year. And I don't even know if they're over the age of 30. I think they're about 30, 31 years old, and they clocked $6 million last year in revenue after making almost nothing. So here's what happened. She tells her story. She explains it. And this is what I want you to kind of understand when you talk about education. They got education, but they got the right education. One of the things that Miss Lewis explained to me was that, it wasn't college that taught her how to go make $6 million a year. College don't teach nothing about making big money. College teaches you how to get ready for that job. Now, that's cool if you get the right job. But if you read this article, I was reading this article today in CNBC that says more than half of older millennials with student loan debt say their loans weren't worth it. Well, in this article, they're talking about mostly white people now. They're not even talking about the struggles of Black people. Y'all know how it is when you're Black. When white America gets a cold, Black people get pneumonia. So whatever's hitting white kids who have 10 times more wealth than you, it's 10 times worse on black people, right? We have more debt and less wealth to work with. And one of the things that they kept talking about, they kept telling stories. I think about stories about Jenny and Brad and Aaron Becker, who owes $40,000 in student loans. She said it's been an uphill battle. She went to SUNY Potsdam in 2003 to study music education. Music education. Let me just tell you a little secret. Again, I'm a black man, a human being, a finance PhD. Do not go to college and borrow a ton of money to study music education. If my 17-year-old came in talking about I'm gonna go 100,000 in debt so I can learn how to be a music teacher, I would say, okay, I hope that you are going to become, are you going to be a part-time dope dealer? Like, are you going to be a hitman, a babysitter? Like, how you going to make your real money? Because you ain't going to make your money. You're not going to make enough money to cover that kind of debt. You see, debt is not a problem. That is not the issue. That's the thing. People get to where, people get simple minded on economic issues. Like, for example, if a company does something bad, they say, well, that's why I hate capitalism. No, you don't hate capitalism. You just hate unethical capitalism. Or when somebody goes to a black owned business and the business doesn't serve, they burn the food or whatever. They're like, see, that's why I'm support black owned business. No, you don't hate black owned business. You just don't like that business. Well, the same thing is true with debt. Debt gets a bad rap. I hear people that say, "Man, debt kicked my butt so bad. I'm never gonna go in debt. Debt is bad. I'm staying out of debt." No, debt is not the problem. Debt is not the issue. The reality is that whoever taught you to take on debt for something crazy that's the issue. The irresponsible use of debt is the issue. Did you guys know this? Give me a yes or no if you knew this. Most multi-billion dollar companies, most multi-billion dollar companies got started with debt. Debt is a wonderful thing if you use it right. Debt ain't the problem. It's the irresponsible use of debt. Ain't nobody on this earth gonna give you a business loan to start a company where you say, "Well, I want to borrow $10 million." Well, how much revenue you gonna make? About two grand a month. I'm gonna make about 2 grand a month, but I want to borrow 10 million to build a $2,000 a month business. That doesn't make any sense. Well, when you go to college and you major in something like music education and put yourself deep, deep, deep in debt, then you're pretty much asking for trouble, and that's the problem. Let me just tell you, I have sat and I've watched, black college students for many years. No disrespect to the white kids. I just paid attention to black people because I'm just B1. That's what it is. And one of the things I saw was that we were so giddy about getting into that white man's university that we forgot that you have to watch over both shoulders when you're entering into that sort of agreement. So what people would do is they would send the kid to college. They say, okay, my baby's the first one in our family to go to college because somebody told you to go into University of Iowa was like a big deal. Okay, good for you. So your child goes to that college. They go deep in debt. University gets mad paid off your family wealth. Like they got you 100K in debt. You're gonna be paying them till you old and gray. You're now a sharecropper. Your baby goes to college, doesn't think about how they're going to pay the debt. They go into a career where the starting salary ends up being 35,000 a year, and also they learn no other extra skills that help them pay their debt off. They gain no extra skills. They learn nothing about like Freddie Ra. Freddie Ra's in here. Freddie's my man. Freddie is a businessman. Freddie is clocking probably, I'm gonna guess, at least 1 million a year on his business, probably more. Freddie, I'm counting your money in public, man. Don't think I ain't watching. This brother's killing the game. Freddie didn't learn how to do that in college. Freddie didn't need a college degree to learn how to go out here and make money. But you need skill, but you don't need what they learn in college. See, universities were not designed to teach you how to build black wealth. They were designed to teach you how to create white wealth. Universities were not designed to teach you how to become an owner in a business. Universities were designed to teach you how to become somebody's employee. Universities were not taught to or created to teach you how to be a captain of industry. Universities were created to teach you to be a tool of industry. So ultimately, many of you, unfortunately, it's not your fault. I mean, it's the big rope a dope. That's what white supremacy does. If you get caught slipping and sleeping, they're gonna rob you blind. They will take all your money and then laugh at you. But the reality is that you got to change the paradigm of how you talk about education in your household. The number one skill a young black person needs, especially a young black man, where you go out in this job market and get fired on your day off, like Smokey from the movie Friday. You're gonna get fired on your day off. The number one skill for a young black child is to learn how to make money. That means learning how to invest in stocks, learning how to buy real estate, learning how to start a business. The rest is negotiable. The rest is negotiable. Like I said, I brought this sister on here yesterday, Lewis, who runs Curl Mix, CEO of Curl Mix. They did a public crowdfund. They raised $2 million in 2 days. I have taught on college campuses for 27 years, and never once have I ever seen anybody teach a class on how to raise $2 million in 2 days. You got to go learn from people like Lamar Tyler to learn how to do things like that. You got to learn from some of these folks on the internet. Freddie Rock could probably teach you how to raise some money, how to make some money. But these college professors can't teach you that. And these are not even black universities to begin with, so they're not going to position you to be able to handle that massive amount of debt, especially when you have no capital base to begin with. You see, black people, let's talk about black people more specifically. If you could, let's take 1 second. Could you please hit the thumbs up button? Please, please, please take a second, hit the thumbs up button, because this is black media, and I have to take a moment to ask you all to be a part of what we're doing. You can also follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. And those of you who make fun of me for being immature because I've been playing video games online with my kids, let me just give you more reason to make fun of me. Today, I will be on my channel playing Call of Duty and answering questions and talking to you guys. So if you want to actually follow on Twitch, there's my Twitch channel right there. So feel free to follow. We talk about stocks, but we also love to kill zombies in our part time. That's my new full time job. Is I'm a digital gangster on Call of Duty. I love blowing people's heads off, but not in real life, just on TV. And so anyway, so here's the deal. If you talk about black people, let's talk about black people right quick. I pulled up some quick data on black people. Give me a yes in the chat. Let me know you can still hear me, because I'm actually opening something on my phone because I want to read this to you. This is black people's student loans. It says black college. This is according to sites.ed.gov. So I guess this is a gov.ed site. It says black college graduates have nearly $25,000 more dollars in student loan debt, an average of $52,726 in student debt compared to $28,006 for the typical white bachelor's graduate. The aforementioned gap is more than 3 times the previously documented black-white gap in undergraduate borrowing. So here's what's fascinating about this. Here's where you just like are financially screwed. Okay, black people already have a lower asset base to begin with. Black people already have less money than white people in their families to begin with. Most of y'all, how many? Give me a yes or no if you've ever received an inheritance in your life. Give me a yes or no if you've ever had, and more than like 10 grand. How many of you, yes or no, have ever had even an inheritance of like $15,000, 80,000, 145,000? Has anybody, did grandma leave you like $1 million house in Manhattan that she bought in 1922? Like, give me a yes or no if you even have an inheritance, if you've ever had one. My answer is no. I ain't never had nobody leave me nothing. I've had people leave me bills and drama and funeral expenses, and family secrets, like those children that show up at the funeral that you never knew about, stuff like that, where because all your stuff crawls out when it's, yeah. So most black families don't have an asset base. Most black families have no inheritance, like a lot. I mean, it's terrible, right? So not only do you have less money than white people, right, but you have more debt than they do. So you got a bigger burden and fewer assets to work with. That's like you're going to battle against a bigger army and you've got fewer soldiers. You you you've got it's like a basketball team. You've got to play against the Lakers and you have like 5 fat kids on your team who can't even dribble a basketball. You're not going to win that game. You're like the Wiz. You can't win. Michael, shout out to Michael Jackson, who's he's in heaven hanging out with DMX today. Like, I can't imagine what kind of awesome song those two made together. But you remember in the Wiz when he said, "You can't win." He said, you can't break even and you can't get out of the game, right? Well, you can actually get out of the game, but it's your choice, right? This is the difference between intelligent black people and black people who are just zombies, who are just natural victims, who want to be victims, right? Some people love to be victims. Like, they just, that gives you an excuse for not trying. So those who want to be victims are going to continue to complain about this for the next 50 years. They're going to sit around and say, "Oh Lord Jesus, this is so bad. Why they keep doing this to black people? This is so terrible. I was lied to," right? But then you're going to have smart black people who are going to evacuate the building. Like, literally, who are going to, who say, "Okay, no, I can't win. I can't break even, but I can get out of the game." right? Like, and so I'll encourage you to get out the game. Don't, when you send the kids to college, it's student loan debt is not the culprit, right? Like I said, our 17-year-old is going to go to school, study engineering. So even if he never becomes an entrepreneur, he'll probably be able to handle whatever little debt he's got to take, right? And plus, he's got three parents that make good money who are going to make sure he's good. We've been investing and saving and all this other stuff. So he's going to be straight, right? Even if he never becomes an entrepreneur. But two things we're not going to do is, one, we're not going to overspend for college. Ain't no $70,000 a year situation going to happen up in this house. I can afford it, but I'm not going to waste my money on that ever. Number two, I'm going to reiterate the message that he'll get from me is, look, if you're a black man that wants to be free and financially secure, you better go learn from people like Freddie Ra. You better go learn from people like Lamar Tyler, who can, or like Miss Lewis. I don't remember her first name, but she was on yesterday on the channel. You better learn from people like that. You better learn from the free black people who know how to make their own money. Those are the ones who will not only teach you how to have enough money to handle your debt, but they will teach you how to have enough money and freedom to really live. I mean, think about this. Even if you can pay that debt back, you're selling yourself into corporate slavery. A lot. See, back 200 years ago, Massa used to sell us into slavery. That we were born and the white man be like, okay, this Negro goes for $244 and you had to go. Now you don't have nobody's selling you into slavery. But here's what happens. In America, there's this thing called capitalism. And to play the game of capitalism, you have to have capital. And most of us have no capital because there was no inheritance left for us. White people been stealing our money for 300 years. They ain't gonna pay you no reparations. We not anytime soon. And when they do, it's gonna be a bunch of BS. But when you have no capital base, what you have to do, the only capital you have is what they call human capital. At that point, you have no stocks, you have no real estate, you have no business that generates income, like say the Asian community where they got a hair salon and a couple nail salons in an apartment building that generates monthly income. You don't have that. So when you have no capital base, what you have is you have human capital. Human capital is your labor, and sometimes it's your body. That's why it's so dangerous when you have Cardi B teaching little girls to sell the best, the most interesting part of their body for a bag of potato chips, right? She has their lyrics: shake it real fast, get a little dough; shake it real fast, get a little mo, or something like that. Shake a little ass, get a little dough; shake it real fast, get a little mo. That's what it was, right? So she's literally teaching little girls to become strippers because she's basically from a culture where there is no capital base, and that she's telling them that what you got between your legs is what you sell to the world in order to pay your bills. I don't know about you, but I don't want my daughter in that situation ever. Well, for the men, what happens with us is we have to end up selling our labor. We have to go into these humiliating situations for very low wages, and we have to work until we die because we're not making enough money to really take on the massive amount of debt that we've taken on. Half of all black college graduates default on their student loans. When you default on your student loans, not only are you falling financially behind, but your credit is ruined. When your credit is ruined, that means that you no longer have that ability to even begin that journey toward building wealth. You are deeper into slavery because when it's time for you to go try to buy a home, you can't because your credit's jacked up. Right? No, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just telling you the story how it all breaks down. I've seen it 1,000 times. Number two, when you decide you want to go buy stock, you can't even get money to do that. You decide you want to go and start a business. Well, you can't get $5,000 because you don't have the credit to go borrow $5,000. Right. So what I'm saying to you is that these are the traps that people fall into. What this study says in the articles in CNBC, and it talks about millennials and student loan debt, and it says half of all millennials regret taking on their student loan debt. And if white people who have 10 times more wealth than you regret, half of all white millennials regret taking on student loan debt. If white folks feel that way when they have 10 times more money than you and less debt than you, how do you think it feels to be black? That's the reality. So please be smart. Put your kids in places where they can learn how to start businesses and get ahead. Don't send them down the same economic death path that so many of our young people go down. It's not going to lead to happiness. It's going to lead to depression, and they're just not going to do very well. So anyway, here's something I want to offer. If you guys want to go take a look, I actually put together a curriculum on what I call the Economic Survival Kit. It's designed specifically for Black people. So it's part of something I put together in the Black Business School. This is based on my PhD and my expertise. You can feel free to go take a look at economicsurvivalplan.com. There's the URL. So feel free to go there and take a look. And as you guys know, tomorrow we're doing the Black Love Weekend. That starts tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. And you may be listening to the recording afterward. But if you are listening to this on Friday, we start Saturday morning. We spend the whole weekend talking about how to have healthy relationships. Because one thing that people don't know, this is one best kept secret that they don't talk to you about in college, is that most people who make money know that relationships are the key to making money. I don't know if Freddie Rod's still in here with all his trillions that he's making from his wonderful business, Urban Intellectuals, but anybody in here that's got money in the pocket, give me a yes if you can confirm that relationships open doors. Give me a yes if you confirm that healthy relationships is how you can get ahead and get opportunities. That's really important to know, because I see a lot of people that, unfortunately, because we go through so much trauma and some of us end up carrying toxicity into our adulthood, it messes up our relationships. And there's nobody who struggles more financially than the single mother with kids with no help from the daddies. Nobody who suffers financially more than the single father with babies everywhere that he can't take care of. This is bad relationships. If you got together long enough to go make that baby, then I hope you will invest also in making sure that you can give that baby a solid home. I believe in Black family, man. Why is that so radical? Why is it so radical to say that I believe Black people should get along, and that two parents who make a baby should find a way to see if they can keep their family together? So there are skills out there. There are real relationship gurus out here who have real credentials, not some guy that's going to tell you what you want to hear so you can get your money, or somebody who's going to beat you up and yell at you because you don't agree with what they say. I'm not making fun of anybody else, but what I am saying is that there are credentialed people with PhDs, master's degrees, licenses, licensed therapists who are coming through. Couples have been married, they've been in the game, been married 30, 40 years. You get advice, relationship advice from single people. Well, they can teach you how to get some ass for sure. They can probably teach you how to hook up. But if you try to really link it to stay hooked up, then that's a different thing. Like, getting hooked up is easy. God and Mother Nature designed that process for you. Men are naturally attracted to women. Women are naturally attracted to men. But getting hooked up is easy. It's staying hooked up that takes a lot of work. And I keep making fun of my friend Freddie Rod, just in jest, because I love Freddie. He's a great brother. But I met his wife. His wife is a wonderful lady, and they have a family business. They're thriving over there because they know how to keep their family together. If you can't keep your family together, then you're going to spend all your time fighting and none of your time building. You can't build in the middle of destruction. So that's what the Black Love Weekend's all about. It's totally free. Feel free to go to the URL if you'd like to join us. You can register, and we start Saturday morning, and it's nothing but relationships all day. Dr. Alicia will be there. She's a couples counselor. But then we also have a lot of other good people: Dr. Charn Timms, S.T. Brown, Dr. George James, Dr. Adrian Carter, I think this is, or Adrian Carter, I want to say. Adrian Peterson's a football player, and a lot of other great people. So feel free to join us. All right. So I'm out of here. Love you. I hope you guys have a good day. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We are building Black media. We could really use your help, and we appreciate you. So talk to you soon. I'm going to go play my video games with the kids. Talk to you later. Peace.